The words move like that, and my brain tends to kind of make words up because I'm trying to catch them.
The Repair Shop is a beloved show that follows expert craftsmen as they restore treasured family heirlooms and forgotten antiques to their former glory. Each artisan brings unique skills to the workshop, working carefully to preserve the memories and stories hidden inside time-worn objects. Viewers have long been drawn to the heartwarming transformations and the deep emotional connections to the past. Reactions like, "Oh my goodness, you're a magician! You are amazing!" are common, capturing the wonder and gratitude people feel when their cherished items are brought back to life. But now, Jay Blades, one of the show's most cherished faces, has broken his silence about the Repair Shop, and fans are left shocked by what he revealed. Jay's journey is a remarkable story of perseverance, passion, and a deep connection to craft that resonated far beyond the workbench. From humble beginnings to becoming a household name, his path was shaped by hard work, creativity, and resilience. Long before he became a familiar face on television, Jay Blades was grounded in a world where making things with one's hands was not just practical, but meaningful. Growing up, he faced challenges that shaped him into the empathetic and determined individual viewers came to love. From a young age, Jay was drawn to restoration, whether it was fixing a broken chair or transforming worn-out furniture into something beautiful. He found joy in giving new life to old items. Over time, his skills as a furniture restorer deepened, and he quietly built a reputation for doing more than just repairs. He restored stories, memories, and emotional connections. Jay's warmth and natural charisma made him a standout in his local community. People didn't just admire his craftsmanship, they valued the kindness and care he poured into every piece. For Jay, the value of what he worked on wasn't just in its physical form, it was in its history, in the people it connected to, and in the memories it carried. This deep respect for the stories behind objects would become the heart of his work on the Repair Shop. When the show was created, it brought something rare and beautiful to television, a celebration of craft, community, and human connection. Ordinary people came in with extraordinary stories, trusting the skilled artisans to breathe life back into their treasured items. Jay was the perfect choice to lead the show. His ability to connect with both the experts and the item owners created a space filled with trust, empathy, and warmth. Over the years, Jay became more than a presenter. He became the soul of the show. To many viewers, he symbolized hope, kindness, and restoration. His background made him relatable. His genuine enthusiasm made the art of repair feel accessible. Watching the Repair Shop with Jay at the helm felt like being part of a family, witnessing not only the transformation of objects, but of lives and relationships as well. Beyond his technical knowledge, Jay brought light and joy to the screen. His laughter, encouraging words, and heartfelt presence made each episode feel real and intimate. People didn't tune in just to see old things fixed, they watched to experience the humanity and care that Jay and the team brought to every repair. As the show continued, Jay's influence grew. He wasn't just restoring furniture, he was helping to mend emotional ties and bridge generational gaps. Viewers often shared how watching the show inspired them to cherish their own family heirlooms more deeply. For them, Jay's quiet reverence for memory and history turned everyday objects into sacred artifacts of personal legacy. That emotional connection became the foundation of the Repair Shop's enduring success, and at its center stood a man who believed that every piece mattered, not just because of what it was, but because of what it meant. The show's success and Jay Blade's enduring popularity are undeniable, but his story is more than just a feel-good tale. Like all meaningful journeys, Jay's path was filled with unexpected twists and personal challenges. The warm and uplifting narrative that fans had come to embrace was soon tested in ways that would reshape not only Jay's life but also the future of the Repair Shop, a show so closely tied to his identity. While his early struggles and rise to fame laid the foundation for an inspiring story, what came next would reveal deeper challenges, turning points that would test his resilience and redefine the meaning of restoration, both on screen and within himself. Since the debut of the Repair Shop, Jay has become the heart of the show. His role went far beyond that of a host. He served as a bridge between the expert craftsmen and the guests who entrusted their most precious heirlooms to the workshop. Across 7 series, his presence became synonymous with the warmth, care, and authenticity that made the show a comforting watch for millions. The true magic of the repair shop wasn't just in the physical restorations, it was in the quiet, emotional moments when something broken or forgotten was brought back to life. Jay was always at the center of those moments, guiding the experience with empathy and sincerity. One of Jay's most powerful qualities was his genuine curiosity about the stories behind each object. He never rushed anyone, always listening with full attention and respect for the memories tied to every item, whether it was a decades-old wedding dress or a wooden toy passed through generations. His reverence for family history and heritage endeared him not just to the guests but to viewers as well. He made everyone feel that their stories mattered. Jay's enthusiasm also brought balance to the show. His light-hearted humor and banter with fellow restorers added moments of joy that softened the emotion-heavy narratives. Fans remember his beaming smile, his constant encouragement of the craftspeople, and the way he celebrated each reveal with heartfelt applause, often moved to tears alongside the guests. Over the years, many iconic moments helped define Jay's legacy on the show. One unforgettable episode involved restoring a military uniform for a guest whose grandfather had served in World War II. The restoration stirred powerful emotions, and Jay stood beside the guest, sharing in the reverence and pride. In another memorable scene, Jay and expert restorer Will Kirk brought a beloved childhood piano back to life. The sound of the restored instrument playing again, filled with memories and new beginnings, left the family in tears, and Jay, as always, celebrated the moment with contagious joy and warmth. Jay's role on the repair shop gradually evolved into that of a mentor. He wasn't just sharing knowledge about furniture or repair, he was offering life lessons, shaped by his own journey of hardship and triumph. His ability to find beauty in broken things and joy in creative acts encouraged viewers to see the world, and their own lives, through a more compassionate lens. For Jay, the workshop wasn't merely a place to fix objects. It was a sanctuary for healing and hope. This spirit resonated especially during times of global uncertainty, when audiences turned to the show for comfort. In a world that felt increasingly chaotic, the repair shop became a rare constant, a celebration of kindness, care, and connection. Jay's presence served as a steady anchor. He remained grounded, authentic, and devoted to the values that had brought him to that barn in the first place. His down-to-earth nature and unwavering empathy made him deeply relatable and trustworthy. This consistency built a loyal fan base who saw him not just as a television personality, but as a symbol of resilience and compassion. Yet despite all the admiration and success, the success and accolades surrounding Jay Blades were undeniable, but the pressure of public life was never far behind. The spotlight that once felt warm and welcoming began to cast long, unforgiving shadows. The man who had inspired millions through his empathy and skill was also silently battling personal challenges that would soon erupt into public view. Jay's influence on the repair shop and its devoted audience had been immense. Viewers had witnessed his highs, his joyful moments, and the deep emotional connections he helped foster between guests and their cherished heirlooms. But as time passed, the tone began to shift. What once seemed like an uplifting story of triumph was about to be tested in the harshest of ways. No one could have predicted how quickly personal struggles would overshadow Jay's hard-earned public success. Jay's journey, both personal and professional, painted the portrait of a man who rose from humble and difficult beginnings to become a national symbol of hope, kindness, and creativity. Long before television, Jay had already been shaped by adversity. Growing up in a challenging environment, he overcame numerous obstacles that taught him the importance of resilience, community, and compassion, values that became central to his television persona. His story was never just about repairing furniture, it was about repairing lives, including his own. When the repair shop came into his life, it offered him more than a platform to showcase his skills. It gave him the opportunity to show others that where you come from does not define where you can go. His humility, sincerity, and lived experience resonated deeply with audiences, especially those who had felt unseen or underestimated. Jay's role soon expanded beyond the television screen. He became a best-selling author and public ambassador for mental health awareness. Through his books and public speaking, he encouraged people to embrace imperfections and find strength in vulnerability. He spoke openly about personal struggles that many keep hidden, and in doing so, helped break down stigmas around mental health. Off camera, Jay was equally devoted to his values. He regularly visited schools and community centers, teaching young people craft skills and encouraging them to explore their creativity, not for the cameras, but out of a genuine desire to give back. However, as his fame grew, so did the scrutiny. The line between his private life and public persona began to blur. The expectations placed on him became immense, and the pressures of maintaining a flawless public image took their toll. Cracks began to show in his personal life. The combination of growing public demand and deepening private struggles eventually led to turmoil. What began as silent, personal hardship soon turned into headline-grabbing controversy. The carefully crafted image Jay had built, of resilience, warmth, and honesty, was suddenly under threat. The turning point came when Jay was charged with controlling and coercive behavior against his estranged wife. The charge, which described a troubling pattern of emotional and physical abuse spanning more than a year, shocked fans across the country. The allegations stood in stark contrast to the persona viewers had come to know and admire. When the news broke, it sparked an immediate and far-reaching reaction. The BBC responded swiftly, removing all episodes of The Repair Shop featuring Jay from its primetime schedule. Upcoming specials and planned appearances were either postponed or cancelled outright. What had begun quietly had escalated into a national media storm. For the network, it was a difficult dilemma: how to maintain the immense popularity and integrity of one of its most beloved shows while also addressing the serious allegations against its star. And for the fans who had followed Jay's journey from the very beginning, the news was heartbreaking, raising painful questions about the man behind the familiar smile and whether the values he represented on-screen could withstand the reality off-screen. The Repair Shop, one of the BBC's most beloved shows, suddenly found itself navigating troubled waters as serious allegations emerged against its star, Jay Blades. Viewers immediately noticed Jay's absence. His familiar face was missing from promotional materials, and reports suggested the BBC was quietly considering other cast members to take over his role. Craftsmen who had long been part of the Repair Shop family were subtly floated as potential replacements. Yet, no official announcement came right away, as producers faced the difficult task of balancing the show's reputation with the legal sensitivities surrounding the case. The impact wasn't limited to television. Jay was also dropped from the Repair Shop Live Tour, a celebrated event that traveled across the UK to connect with fans. His removal sent a clear message: the producers were determined to distance the brand from the growing controversy. The fallout didn't end there. Other projects involving Jay were swiftly cancelled. Channel 4 scrapped the sequel to his travel series. Jay Blade's deep connection to the Repair Shop remained evident, even in the wake of serious allegations and his removal from the show. He spoke affectionately about the workshop, known as The Barn, describing it as a family built on years of collaboration, trust, and mutual respect. Behind the scenes, Jay valued the expertise of his fellow craftsmen and frequently highlighted the collective experience that gave the show its heart and authenticity. Despite being at the center of controversy, Jay maintained a tone of grace and gratitude when discussing the situation. He didn't lash out or express resentment. Instead, he thanked the show for the opportunities it had given him and the lasting friendships it had helped him form. He acknowledged that the Repair Shop had fixed him in many ways, providing support, purpose, and understanding when he needed it most. This attitude surprised many. Fans who expected defensiveness or bitterness instead witnessed a man who continued to honor the values the show represented: connection, creativity, and compassion. Jay's respect for the craft, his teammates, and the viewers shone through, even as his personal life unraveled. He had often spoken about the importance of preserving traditional crafts and sharing them with younger generations. That mission, he said, was what made the Repair Shop so powerful. It wasn't just a TV show, it was a celebration of heritage, healing, and human connection. Jay's role as presenter was central to this, bringing warmth, energy, and empathy to every episode, helping audiences connect emotionally with the stories behind each restoration. Even amid personal turmoil, Jay's love for the show remained steadfast. He described the repair shop as a family that had accepted him as he was, including his struggles and differences. This emotional bond helped explain why, despite everything, he continued to speak with such fondness about his time on the show. His reflections offered fans a rare glimpse beyond the headlines, a look at someone who valued kindness and creativity above all else. It also left many wondering whether there might ever be a path back for him, whether the door to the barn could one day open again. When Jay broke his silence, he didn't offer excuses or denial. Instead, he shared heartfelt appreciation, a reminder that public figures, like all people, are complex, capable of both deep flaws and profound humanity. Following his statement, the spotlight shifted once again, now tinted with reflection, uncertainty, and cautious hope. The public reaction was mixed. Many fans, still processing the news of the charges and Jay's departure, found themselves torn between their love for the show and their feelings about Jay. Some expressed disappointment and a sense of betrayal. Others took a more nuanced view, acknowledging the man's faults while still appreciating the positivity and comfort he had brought to their screens over the years. Social media and fan communities buzzed with debate, some arguing for accountability, others advocating for compassion and the ability to separate a person's private failures from their professional contributions. Meanwhile, the BBC and the show's producers continued to carefully navigate the fallout. They faced the challenge of upholding the integrity of a beloved program while allowing due legal process to take its course. Jay's removal had disrupted planned episodes and special events, but the team quickly shifted focus to the other talented craftsmen and women who had always been integral to the show. These restorers, many of whom had worked alongside Jay for years, carried on the mission of the repair shop, restoring not just objects, but the memories and relationships tied to them. Though the barn had lost one of its most familiar faces, its spirit endured. The story of the repair shop was no longer just about one man, it was about the entire community of people who continued to believe in the quiet power of care, craft, and second chances. Will Kirk and Dom Kinneya, among others, were increasingly brought into the spotlight as potential anchors to guide the repair shop into its next chapter. Fans noticed a subtle but deliberate shift in promotional materials, with a greater emphasis on their skills, personalities, and warmth. This was part of a careful strategy to preserve the essence of the show, its focus on restoration, kindness, and community, without Jay Blades, who had been its defining face for so long. Meanwhile, Jay remained somewhat visible in the public eye, but on his own terms. He began hosting midnight DJ sessions and online streams, creating a more personal and informal connection with his supporters. These candid interactions revealed a different side of him, less polished, more human, perhaps signaling a desire for a fresh start beyond the polished confines of television. As the legal proceedings around his case continue, the uncertainty surrounding Jay's future looms large. Broadcasters and producers remain cautious, stressing the importance of due process and acknowledging the sensitivity of the situation. While the repair shop has weathered challenges before, this controversy was unprecedented. Yet the core of the show, its celebration of empathy, craftsmanship, and memory, remains strong. Without Jay, it now enters a new phase, one where the spotlight is shared more broadly among its dedicated artisans, and where healing and adaptation are central themes. For Jay, the road ahead is far less defined. His deep affection for the show, the craft, and its community is still evident, as is his connection with fans who remember the joy and warmth he brought to each episode. Whether this connection leads to a return to television or takes him down a different path remains to be seen. What is clear, however, is the resilience shown by all involved, the team at the repair shop, the loyal audience, and Jay himself. Each is navigating the complicated emotions and consequences that come with public scrutiny, personal growth, and the aftermath of controversy. Jay's decision to break his silence with honesty and affection marked a turning point, from silence to reflection, and possibly, redemption. As the repair shop continues to evolve with its craftspeople and community at its heart, Jay's story stands as a reminder that behind every headline is a person, flawed, hopeful, and deserving of a chance to grow. As viewers adjust to this new dynamic, Jay's legacy lingers in the quiet moments of restoration, in each heartfelt memory shared, and in the enduring spirit of the show he helped shape. The path forward may still be uncertain, but his contributions echo through every repaired object and every story told in the barn. Whether the next chapter for Jay is one of reconciliation or reinvention, only time will tell. What do you think? Should Jay have been kept on the show despite everything? Let us know in the comments.